Okay. Now I'll go live and then we'll start the session. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome back to another interesting and power-packed episode of Tuesday Tea Talks. I hope everyone are back after the Sankranti festival. You all had a great time, flying kites and rangoli and whatnot, and lots of festival foods and all. I hope you are back to your works. And today we have a young speaker, an enthusiastic speaker over here today to speak more about role of corporate nutritionist. So she's here, Priyanka Sharma is here. So without any late, I would like to introduce Priyanka Sharma. So Priyanka Sharma is currently working as a consultant nutritionist at Senka Global IT Services Private Limited. She was an apprentice here and got the consultant role immediately on finishing the apprenticeship period. This is the first and the only nutritionist work. She is the first and only nutritionist working in this software company. So coming to her educational qualifications, she has done her MSc in Nutrition and Dietetics from University College for Women's Koti, and her BSc from Kasturba Gandhi Degree College and PG College. And when she was in Kasturba College, she has won many prizes, many first prizes in her inter-college competitions. Few of them are like PowerPoint presentations, and she won a gold medal for intra-college contest like best mnemonic and debate, first prize in cookery contest at Kasturba Gandhi College again. She won inter-college annual essay writing contest, and she won third prize in state level electronic poster contest organized by the Indian Dietetics Association as a part of Dietetics Day celebrations at NIN in 2016. And wow, she also won Srimati Lakshmi Annapurna Devi Award for the meritorious students in clinical nutrition and dietetics in 2014 again from Kasturba Gandhi Degree College. And she also won Miss Anita Venugopal Memorial Award for Excellence in Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics in 2015, again from Kasturba Gandhi College, and also received Outstanding Student Award in BSc 2016 from Kasturba Gandhi College. She's also featured in Alokna magazine of Kasturba Gandhi Degree and PG College for Women for the edition of 2014 and 2016. And coming to her MSc, she was the finalist for Miss Public Speaker 2017 JCI group. And she won first prize in slogan writing, first prize in poetry, which was conducted by She Teams in 2019. And she received special prize in elocution competition by Honorable Home Minister of Telangana. In 2019 again, and she won third prize in poetry writing contest on oil conservation. And she secured first position in state level debate contest organized by state level coordinator for oil industry in Telangana on the occasion of Saksham 2019 at Koti Women's College. And she published 2 research papers and 1 review paper, all in international journals. She also presented a paper on market survey of artificial sweeteners and artificially sweetened products in Hyderabad at the 2-day national seminar on health, hygiene, and sanitation at Little Flower Degree College. She was also featured in Vasudha magazine of University College for Women Koti in 2019. She has also hosted and participated in college events, debates, poetry contests, quiz, cookery shows, whatnot, photography, writing. Wow. So she's also a life member of Indian Dietetics Association since 2019, and she's passionate about writing and music apart from enjoying the nutrition subject. She won second prize in National Writing Contest. 3 articles have been published on the Reflections Live website, and 1 poetry and 1 microtale is published in the in the Right Order Anthology. And she secured position number 6 in National podcast contest. So this is an intro of Priyanka. She's here. I didn't wanted to miss any point, so I wanted to give that elaborate introduction of Priyanka. So welcome Priyanka, welcome to Tea Talks. So without any delay, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that really sweet introduction. And I really feel like those achievements have gotten some step high after you've announced them. I feel really good. Thank you so much. And yeah, I have to thank everybody who is here on the call or who's watching it online. I'm glad that the poster and the topic was interesting enough for you to be here. And of course, thanks to you and Janvi ma'am for giving me this opportunity. Okay, I'll start sharing my screen and we'll talk about directly the topic, which is role of a corporate nutritionist. Like ma'am just told, I'm working in an IT setup, but my role is of a nutritionist. So I'll start sharing my screen.
Yeah,
Please
sure.
let me know if it's visible.
It's visible, Priyanka. You can just make the full screen.
Is it full screen now?
Yes.
All right. So, role of a corporate nutritionist: turn your passion into profession. When I talk about turn your passion into profession, I'm not really going to talk about only a corporate nutritionist. This is basically passion related to just nutrition. Okay, and you can turn it into profession into any area or any field of this. So we are not limiting to only corporate nutritionist, but because I'm working as one, I will be getting into details of that. So what can you expect from this session? I'm expecting a lot of students to be here. So I think I should tell you about an incident that just happened last night. One of my juniors, I was talking to her after really, really long time, and she asked me, "What are you doing?" And I just told her that I'm working. And she asked me, she didn't ask me where am I working. She just asked me, is I am teaching or am I into a hospital? So this is usually what we think when we think about nutrition, that it's either a hospital setup or the teaching profession. So if you also think in a similar way, if you often have this conversation with your friends or your teachers or your family members or your relatives, when you talk like, I really love nutrition. I think the role of a nutritionist is it's so interesting, it's so important. But that but probably the scope is not so much. We don't have a great career. Maybe we should look at other opportunities that could pay us well. And if you looked at the poster and saw the designation and thought that IT company, so okay, what is she doing? Wasn't she studying nutrition? So if these were your doubts, if you thought it was only a hospital setup or if it was only teaching or whether it's your online classes or if you're working, I mean, if you're having the privilege of going to college and actually getting that exposure, and you don't know what is next after BSc or after MSc, and obviously you'll be having a lot of pressure of that very popular question, what's next? So if something like that is your thought process, so this session is for you. So stay back to the end and of course you can ask any questions that you want to. Also, this session is also for you if you actually enjoy nutrition and you love it and you are also open to opportunities that will let you have fun with this field, okay? So it's not just one, two, or three popular options, but then given a chance in any field where you're seeing application of nutrition, you're okay with it and you're excited about it. So this session is for you. And before I move forward, don't think of these two very popular professions as something you shouldn't be doing, or it's boring, or it's conventional because they are popular for a reason. Okay, uh, when you're working in a hospital setup, when you're dealing with patients, you know that you're playing a very very significant role um, because your diet plan will be playing such an important role in somebody's recovery, and you will have a great exposure. You'll be studying about so many diseases. You'll be playing a key role in a person's recovery. So it's a very significant role, very important role, and of course a very difficult one. And also when we talk about teaching, if you enjoy teaching, I think you should go ahead with this because when we talk about the opportunities and the experimentation of the other areas, the new areas, we're able to do this because somebody someday decided to teach what they've studied. So it's all because of the nutrition teachers that we're able to do what we're able to do with this field. So if you want to be one of those who will be responsible for a person's career, you should get into teaching. Some other popular fields that we think of or listen to when we talk about what after BSc, MSc, it could be your PG diploma, it could be a double master, it could be your PhD. These are some other popular options, or your registered dietitian internship and the RD exam. But you need to understand that you can also do something more. Right, so just the topic that you've seen on the poster, I will talk about those two main things. One is what I am doing in this IT company, role of a nutritionist in an IT company in general, and what I am exactly doing. I'm working on creating a profession beyond popular roles. And there is no rule that you have to get into the popular roles or the unconventional roles. It's completely your choice, but provided you are really excited about doing anything and everything. So maybe even beyond a corporate setup, like I told you, just because I'm talking about corporate nutritionist, you don't have to become one. But if you're excited about it, you can become that. Yeah. So who is a corporate nutritionist? So basically anybody who's working in a corporate setup. It could be a small company, mid-sized company, large-sized company. It could be basically it could be a multinational company. It could be just any corporate setup that has a spot for a nutritionist, and they have their own healthcare policies, and they may be designing it in a way where they are looking for a diet and nutrition expert. Okay. So obviously after looking at the poster, and this is not a really popular role because before I joined Seneca Global, I didn't know that I really never expected that I would be working for a software company. So I know a lot of you are thinking in a similar way that okay, software company and nutritionists, we've never heard about that, or we've not really heard a lot about that. So if I talk specifically about Seneca Global, we have like a dedicated team which is called as the Associate Wellbeing Team. So they're like they really give importance to their employees' health and well-being. And even before I joined, there were a lot of things that were happening here, like they had tied up with NIL, and they had health talks, health checkups, health camps, a lot of things that happened before I joined also. So they have, put employee well-being on top, and they prioritize it. And they also have had a spot for nutritionists, and I became the lucky one. But talking about any other software company that could give you this opportunity, it may be different. It may be specific to them. It will depend on what their policy for their employees is. Like usually when we talk about company policies, they will have an insurance policy, or they will have something specific to COVID because that's what we're all facing. These are the popular things that people usually do for their employee health. But only few people are, having the role of a nutritionist or a dietitian, and I think this is only going to magnify due to the work from home role, work from home setup, and I think people are going to realize that a nutritionist is actually important in any setup, basically, be it a school, be it a hotel, be it a canteen, be it a company. Anybody who eats food needs to know how it is to be eaten. So a nutritionist is basically only present. So it's important that you realize that you are important. Only then the others are going to realize that you are important. So when I talk specifically about Seneca Global, we have the AWD team here.
Priyanka, sorry to interrupt you. Your voice is not clear. I mean, people
Okay.
are requesting that your voice is not clear. Can you just try without the headsets once?
Uh, Without the headset may not be possible actually. I'll have to rejoin.
Okay,
I just rejoined the meeting.
once again. Yeah, it's bit not clear. And I guess on Facebook, they are not able to. So Priyanka will join back and she'll continue the session.
Am I audible now?
Yes, Priyanka, you're audible.
Okay. I'm clearly audible.
Slightly better than what it was.
I think we'll have to enable the screen share again now.
Yeah. You can start the screen sharing again. Priyanka, what you can do is, you
Join
can,
to a phone or
yeah,
something?
you can share your screen from this thing, okay? And you can use audio from your mobile or something else.
Okay.
You
I'll
can
do
just
that.
try that once,
Sure.
okay? Because your voice is not clear.
Am I clearly audible now?
Yes, this is better. Much better, Priyanka.
Okay. I will share the screen. Let me know if you're
Yes,
able to see that.
sure. You're
Is
sharing
this,
from the desktop only, right?
yes.
Yes, you can do that.
All right. I'm not able to do that.
1 second. Can you try now?
No, it's still not allowing me to do that.
1 second. And now you will be able to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so I was just talking about, sorry, I lost the flow.
I'm so sorry for that.
Okay, so I was basically talking about, and I'll have to look here and there. So if I'm looking weird,
No,
I'm sorry.
you just look, you just concentrate on the presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just telling what a corporate nutritionist does, and it's a different kind of role. We um, we don't usually think of this opportunity when we think about what after BSc or MSc, and what is popular usually is teaching or the hospital setup. High regards to that, it's a very difficult job. If you're interested for it, please go for it. But this is just a different opportunity that we are going to discuss about today. So any company that gives you the has a health policy and has a role for a nutritionist, you will be called as a corporate nutritionist when you work in that company. Yeah, so it's company specific. It could be depending on their health policies on what they want to do for their employees, and that is when you will know how your nutrition expertise will come into play for their employees. For example, some people may just want for you to be always there at their company for any nutrition concerns that anybody in the office may have, for any diet tips, for any ailments that they may have, or if they are having any lifestyle disorders. It could be just something general like that. Some people can have a very organized kind of a program where they are actually taking the interested employees and running a program and actually making a difference in their life through the nutritionist. So it could be that also. So it's company specific. When I talk about Seneca Global, we have the associate well-being team. It's a dedicated team where we work for health webinars, health campaigns. Before I joined, the NIN health camps used to happen, the health sessions used to happen. And now we have a program that is specific to nutrition, and we call it as the transformation program. So yeah, if you talk about any company other than just Seneca Global, I will tell you in detail what I'm doing. It could be like I just told you that it could be just one-time counseling where you're just giving them the diet and nutrition tips based on what they are looking for, or it could be just any awareness campaign that they have, any health initiative that they have. They require nutrition expertise for it. So that is where you will be collaborating with them and the other health professionals, and you'll be working for all the employees. And it could be something like a personalized or a proper program basis the requirement of the employees in that specific company. Like if a company recognizes that we have a lot of diabetics in the company, so maybe you'll have a program for diabetic nutrition. Or if they just feel like, because it's the work from home setup for most of us, they may realize that it's a sedentary lifestyle, and we may require something that's focusing on what we can do at home itself when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to physical activity, when it comes to breaking the sedentary lifestyle. So it could be a personalized program based on what your company wants to do. Yeah, skills you will need, whether you're working, I think this is more like a basic skill set. But of course, if you're working in a corporate setup, or if you're working in a place that is slightly different than you would expect, that is not really the teaching thing, that's not really as a dietitian at a hospital. So you will have to understand their setup, because it's new to you and you are new to them. So you first understand what the company wants from you. What is it that they are looking at? What is their policy? How are they prioritizing their health? Is it just some random advice that they want, and you will be always there, and it will be not something that you need a follow up for? Or is it a program that you have to follow up, and you have to really guide the people on a very, very regular basis, and put in front results in whatever way they're expecting? Some people could only be looking at intangible benefits. Some people could be very, very focused on numbers. So you have to see what they are looking at, and then you have to see how your nutrition knowledge will come into play. You have to match their needs to your knowledge and to your expertise. Um, so suppose if they are looking at just numbers, if they really want a calorie counted diet plan, so that is what you'll have to create. If your approach is a little different and you don't want to go with calorie counting and you want to go with something more traditional, something that's more easy to follow, so that could be your approach. You can discuss with them if this will be more righteous when you talk about a sustainable nutrition plan. So this is how you're going to match your needs. If they're only looking at awareness and health campaigns and they just need advice based on every changing campaign, you will only be doing that. So it will be very specific, it will be different, but you need to get creative, as creative as possible, be it in a corporate setup, be it in a, there are some pharmacy companies who have role for a nutritionist. So these are all very different things. So you need to get creative. You need to understand what you can do. You can give them ideas and suggestions on, this is my nutrition expertise. This is your idea or plan or need for your employees. And I think we can do this. So this is how you'll have to get creative and understand their needs and match that with your expertise. And whether you're doing a conventional role or you're doing an unconventional role, it is very, very important that you are open to opportunities. Like when I saw that there is an IT company that is looking for a nutritionist, I wasn't like ready at the moment. I was obviously scared. I was like, what does that even mean? But I wanted to give it a try because even after finishing my MSc, I was looking at something. I really wanted to explore what nutrition can do. I wanted to see the potential of the nutritionist role and the nutrition subject as such. So I was kind of confident on, that there will be some other application of this, because there are many health apps, fitness apps, there are nutrition blogs, and I was interested in writing, so I was looking at content creation, and then this came my way. So I was scared, but then I wanted to give it a try. So that is why you have to be open to opportunities. If something different is coming your way and you feel, somewhere you think you could do it, you could be slightly underconfident, you could be slightly excited about it. So just go for it. And there could be roles beyond your role because it's a different setup. You are new to them, they are new to you, they know nothing about nutrition, and you know nothing about their setup. So you have to be open to roles beyond your role. You will be exploring things, you will be learning your own potential, and there will be criticism because in any setup that you work, it's not just related to corporate nutrition, but any setup that you work in, if you're working under somebody who is an expert in nutrition, or if you're working under somebody who does not know nutrition, they will have their own set of ideas, they will have their own point of view, which is important because you cannot think in just one way. If they're asking you to do something, that means probably you have an opportunity to grow. Probably you will be improving in a way that you didn't expect you could. So that is where criticism comes into play. That is where you build yourself. That is where you realize that I didn't even know I could do this. And thanks to them who told that this is not good, so you tried more. So because when you're working in a new setup, they know how their company works, they know how their hospital works, and they tell you that our patients are not going to listen to what you're saying, and you can't go and tell them what you feel is right. Of course, does not mean that you have to be very closed and not give your ideas. It's important that you communicate wherever you're working, but it's also important that you welcome criticism for your own growth. Yeah. So now this is specific to what I have done over the past few months. When I saw that an IT company is looking for a nutrition apprentice, I didn't even know that how a nutritionist will be working here. What would apprenticeship look like? What am I going to learn? And I was not working under really a nutrition professional as such. So I was the only nutrition person there. So there were a lot of doubts, but I started with apprenticeship. It was basically a test role for Seneca Global itself, because they have been a lot into the health thing, and they're always looking at how they can improve their employees' health and how can they have fun with campaigns. And they just want to engage their employees in some way or the other while promoting some sort of bonding and some sort of health awareness. So I didn't know what I could do, but then they just told that we want to experiment if a person who will be dedicated for this work. It will not be like a one-time talk. It will not be like a few weeks campaign, but someone who is actually dedicated for something. You will have follow-ups, you will have a program. You're actually working with a set of people and working on bringing some change in their lifestyle. We want to see if your nutrition advice will be helping us, if a personalized touch will be helping us. So that was a test role for them, and it was, of course, a test role for me also, because I never expected I will be in a IT setup. And then I became a consultant. They liked the work. I enjoyed the work. And what we exactly do is it's a personalized program that we do, and we have a specific system where we're asking people who are interested to enroll for this, because this is going to require commitment. It's a 3 to 4 month program. So only people who are interested, will be the right people. And then we are not really focusing on nutrition, because when I am talking about what they should be eating, how they should be eating, I'm also looking at their physical activity, or about their sleep, about their stress. Because all the BSc and MSc students who are here, you know that when we are studying about any disease, we are not just looking at the nutrition point of view. We are not just looking at this is your calorie requirement, protein and fat requirement. We are also looking at the physical activity. We are looking at a minimum physical activity of 150 minutes for a normal healthy individual. We are looking at how stress can have an effect on hormones and how that can affect your hunger, and the way you sleep or the way you perform. And one reason why you could be thinking why uh, an IT setup requires a nutritionist, because it's not really that they don't know anything. They obviously know everything. I'm not dealing with a layman. I don't have to explain them anything. They already know about nutrition. They are well educated people. They are well informed people. But they have stress, and all of us have stress. But they have a very different kind of setup. They have an 8 to 9 hour shift. They are working with something different every day. And also the work from home setup, I think that has really given us some very different undefined kind of stress for everybody. So these are also the things that we look at when we are talking about the personalized transformation. So it is personalized. I talk to people, and it is personalized for that specific individual, and it's not generalized. And I was also a part of the other health campaigns that were not nutrition specific, like when we collaborate with other partners, when we have a webinar with some other health professional. So I got a chance to do those things as well. So it's more exposure for me also. And we also were in partnership with a health app. So that health app had few challenges. It had a lot of health checkups. It had consultations, and a very interesting kind of app where it was for all the employees, and then we collaborated that into the well-being team. So these are the various aspects that we work at when we talk about employee well-being, and nutrition is one of them now. So I used to make content. I have created flyers, I have created videos, and for promoting specifically nutrition, and for awareness of what nutrition is, what fats are. Because when I say that they're well-informed people, we all know that all well-informed people could be too much informed people, because they have access to social media, they have access to WhatsApp, and they don't really know who is right and who is wrong, which is not their fault. So this is why I keep the focus on telling them that you don't have to go with something fancy, and you don't have to, because there are chances where they will tell me more about keto diet than I will be able to explain them about a balanced diet. So these are the challenges you will face. So that is why a lot of awareness activities happen, and it's not specific to nutrition. It's a well-being team, and we look at various aspects of this. And one new thing, and this is my favorite, because I told you I am into nutrition, I'm into music, I'm into writing. So these are my three very favorite areas. So I wanted to mix all of them and make an awareness campaign. So the last National Nutrition Week that we had in September, That is when I created a podcast episode for every day with a different topic. And that was only focused on the myths, the fat diets, the crash diets, or any popular myths that people could be, getting exposed to through a lot of social media stuff. So I had good background music. So music was done. I was creating the scripts. So writing was done. I was talking about nutrition. So nutrition awareness was done. And it was a fresh thing for them. It was a fresh thing for me. And this is how you can get creative. If you think you are having something other than just nutrition knowledge, mix that up here. Get creative and explore yourself while you also showcase your potential to your employer. Yeah, when I say explore your passion and strengths, um, like I told you, I've been stressing on this enough that you don't think about just corporate nutrition or just the things that you know about. You don't have to limit yourself anywhere. So just imagine if you were not a dietitian, if you were not studying nutrition, if you didn't have a physical or virtual clinic, if you were studying something else, would you value a nutritionist? Would you think highly of a dietitian? Would you think that I really need an expert nutrition advice? Because no matter what happens, you're going to eat food every day, whether less or more, party, sad, happy, in all situations you're going to eat food. So do you think a food expert is important? If yes, that means you've recognized the potential, the the importance of this role, and that you're ready for exploration. And the students who are here, you need to look at what you're doing. You need to maybe think beyond just the exams, just getting marks, just getting passed, and think if that's creating some spark in you, if that is making you feel interested, if a specific subject, because we have many subjects, we can have biochemistry, we have physiology, we have so many other things that we study. We are studying dietetics, we're studying basic nutrition. So what is it that you're really interested in? Are you interested in about the geriatric nutrition? Are you interested in how a packed lunch for students can be very interestingly made? Are you interested in creating a diet for a patient who is undergoing dialysis? What is your favorite topic? What is your favorite subject? Are you interested in learning it, or are you limiting it to your examination? If you're interested in understanding it, that means you have the passion in you. And of course, if you have a specific topic that you have specific inclination for, that means you can create a career out of that. You can become a pediatric nutrition. You can become a geriatric nutritionist, a pediatric nutritionist. You can be an expert when it comes to renal nutrition. It completely depends on what you want to do. And do you feel excited about the nutrition core itself? It could be any job, but you are a nutritionist. And when you think about that your diet plan, your advice is going to be something that people will follow, it's something that will change somebody's life, will change the way they live. And if you're a teacher, you will be responsible for somebody's career. So if all this excites you, this means you are passionate, and you need to keep exploring. And if uh, something unknown comes your way, but you're just told that you have to still stick to your nutrition core, will you have that spark? Will you be excited for this? Are you okay with the unknown? Are you ready to get creative? Are you get ready to mix passions and create a profession? So if all these are there in you, you could be slightly scared, you could be slightly underconfident. It's absolutely normal, but this indicates that you are passionate. And whether or not it's a well-paid job, or you don't know right now of the opportunities, you are very likely to have a good profession. Yeah, I cannot stress on this enough that you don't have to go by any rule, you don't have to go by what any expert says. It's only and only related to you and what you are passionate about, what you are good at, what is your strength. um, you can go with the popular jobs, of course. If you're passionate about it, you could be looking at your teachers, and you could be getting really excited about okay, so if I become a nutrition lecturer, I will have students, and they will learn things from me, and someday they will have a career, and I will be responsible for it. You can go for that. If you want to work in a hospital setup, explore things, want to play a very key role as much as the doctor itself, you want to explore this, go ahead with that. If you want to do your RD internship, go ahead with that. If you're okay with anything like writing, you can explore blogs. You can look at the other companies that are wanting to have a nutritionist, and like I just told you, there are a lot of health apps, fitness apps. There's an app for everything these days, so you can see what you can do for them. You should look at more opportunities. You are responsible for searching more options. You are responsible for being okay with taking a step other than what the others are doing. So if you're good at something, you think you can mix that up with your nutrition knowledge. If you're good at speaking and you want to create videos where you're talking about nutrition, where you're recording small clips and telling people that what you're doing is wrong and this is what you should do, because you have the right nutrition knowledge and you have the correct degrees with you. So that's what you can do. Or of course you have complete freedom to create something. It's not necessary that you stick to what is available in the market. You can create something. The other day when we had the Sadhana Awards ceremony, I met a dietitian who has created games for children that are specific to nutrition. So that was not existing before she did it. So that means that she really got creative. She created a profession by herself, and she's still doing nutrition. So that is what passion can do for you. That is what your interest can do for you. Like I told you, because I'm interested in music, I'm interested in writing, I wanted to present nutrition knowledge in a way which is not boring for people. They really listen to it. They can just have a walk and have some good music, and listen to the content that will be helpful for them. So that's how I came up with the podcast. You could be coming up with something even more creative. So you are free to create things. So don't limit yourself on anything, because, and don't go by what somebody says. If somebody is saying that you will not have a lot of work if you're taking a certain teaching job, or if you're if you go for a clinical setup, you'll get a lot of exposure, or corporate nutritionist is a very interesting thing, you should go for it. Before doing all of these, you need to understand if you are interested in doing it. Because if you're not interested, definitely nothing is going to be easy. Nothing at all is going to be easy. So it's important that you do something that you find worth in. Yeah. So some top tips to really have fun with what you're going to do. So to rock it, I think you all are going to agree with this, that the influencers, people on social media, the celebrities who've lost weight, they're all somehow a lot more famous than any one of us is, despite studying nutrition for so many years, despite practicing nutrition for so many years. So they're not even qualified, but they are somehow able to influence people into the wrong things. Like the keto diet, like intermittent fasting, people would do anything to lose weight. So that is how they are more famous than any one of us is. So it's important that we have so many nutrition campaigns. We are always talking about diseases. We are always talking about what nutrition can do if you have anemia, what nutrition can do if you are a thyroid patient. We're always looking at talking about the importance of nutrition in a disease or for a healthy individual. We do this at college level, we do this at hospital level. We're always having these programs. But who is going to talk about a nutritionist? Because people only, people who are working in a hospital, that a lot of patients don't even know what you're doing. Why is it that? If you're running a physical or a virtual clinic, people will never expect that you will be knowing about research methodology, that you will be knowing about physiology, you will be knowing about biochemistry. They only think that you will help them to either lose weight or gain weight. Why is it that? Why is a nutritionist just boiled vegetables and boring food? So this is why it is important that you tell people who a nutritionist is. That is where we are going to create opportunities. You need to be confident about your role. Like I told you, if you think if you were not a nutritionist, you would still value this profession, this means that this profession has value. So that is where you show people what a nutritionist can do, that we are responsible for creating enteral and parenteral solutions for a patient who is in an ICU, and you think that we are only doing weight loss and weight gain. So this is where we tell people that these are the various things that we can do. So you spread awareness about a nutritionist before you talk about nutrition. Yeah. So you have to show them that your role is valuable, your subject is valuable, and you, with your own creative passions, are valuable. Because unless you tell them, they are not going to know about it. A lot of people get pleasantly surprised when I tell them that, why do you think it's only weight loss and weight gain? We do so many things. And all you BSc and MSc students know, when you look at your syllabus, that weight loss, weight gain, obesity, underweight, diarrhea, and constipation. These things are the basic chapters. These are always the first chapters in your book, whether it's your BSc or your master's. And then the level increases. Then you talk about renal failure. Then you talk about, a cardiovascular disease. So we know that it's just basic, but that set has become your complete role. So you need to tell people that we are capable of a lot more things. And every field, every area, any job, any profession, whether you have passion or not, will have challenges. So nothing is very fancy. Nothing is, the grass is not greener on the other side. You don't have to, that's why I told you that you don't have to go by what somebody's saying. You don't have to, just because somebody told you that teaching is convenient, you should go into it. Let me tell you, teaching is no way convenient, because it's because of somebody's efforts that we are able to do what we are able to do today. So it's not easy. No profession is easy. Don't look at the working hours. Don't look at the salaries. Don't look at any conventional thing or anything that somebody else is telling you. And nothing is convenient. You will have challenges. If you're dealing with students, students will not understand what you're teaching. If you are having a clinic, patients will explain you about intermittent fasting, then you will tell them about healthy eating. If you are in a hospital setup, people are going to question you about your own profession. So you will have challenges. So if you're passionate, if you think this has value, if you don't have a plan B, and if you're clear about your risk, if it's a risk, it's okay, but you're clear about it. So you should take the leap of faith. And you have to be responsible, because you know that nutrition is a very, very crucial thing. Like I told you, you're going to eat every day. And this is directly going to impact on how you behave, on how you're thriving in your daily life, in your professional life. And this is why IT companies want a nutritionist, because they want productive people and they want growth in their company. So this is the role of the food. So it's so crucial that if you tell a student some wrong information, they will be carrying it forward to so many people, and you will be responsible for it. So it's important that if you're getting into teaching, you tell them the right thing. If you're going to a place where nobody is even having any exposure to nutrition, like in my company, I'm the only nutritionist there. So my responsibility is even more, because now I don't have anybody guiding me. I don't have anybody to tell them that, can I give this for diabetes? Can I tell them that they can eat this for hypertension? I have to do it all by myself. And I have to be responsible, whether or not they're monitoring me. And because you are really responsible for how well a person could do, or how bad their career could get, or how bad their diet and lifestyle could get, just by what you say. So if you're in a classroom, not necessarily the head of the department will come and listen to your entire class. You're not going to be monitored. If you're going you're going to every hospital bed and you're talking about a diet plan for different disease ailments, your chief dietitian will not monitor everything. So this comes as your responsibility, whether you're working in a setup where you have some guidance, or if you are the pioneer there. Some of my friends are the heads of the department now, because a lot of colleges are starting nutrition. They are starting bachelors of science in clinical nutrition and various things like sports nutrition. So the awareness is increasing. So opportunities are increasing, but responsibility is also increasing. So irrespective of somebody monitoring you or not, it is important that you take responsibility. Like for the recent dietetics day, I created a video which was completely focused on social media, because nobody's asking me to do it. I was hired for just having a personalized nutrition program or a transformation program, but I took it as a responsibility to let people know what a nutritionist can do, why you should go to a qualified professional. So this is how you have to get responsible in whatever area you're working in, and it is not going to be easy, which is why you need passion. Yeah, so thank you so much. If you've joined and stayed till here, thank you so much. Thanks for bearing with my audio issues. Thanks for bearing with my weird video issues. And your presence and attention is really valuable. And of course, I have to give a very, very, very big thank you to Janaki ma'am and to Mayuri ma'am, because especially Janaki ma'am, because I feel like she has really given a very, very good start to my year, because just a week ago we had the Sadhana Awards event, which is definitely a very unique, and I must say it's a very mind-blowing event, because I've never attended an event like that. I've attended so many seminars, so many workshops, so many things related to nutrition, but this is very unique. And a week later, I get to talk on Tea Talks Tuesday. I don't even know how to define this. So a big thank you to you. And like I was saying, that if somebody didn't take the responsibility of teaching what they've studied, if nobody wanted to become a nutrition teacher, we would not be existing. So obviously, if I'm able to speak about nutrition with any confidence, it's because of each and every teacher I've had in my bachelor's and master's, because they are the ones who have given me the right information, and who have emphasized that when you're talking about nutrition, you don't pull out information from websites. You're looking at research, you're looking at evidence, you're looking at credible sources. So thanks to them, and obviously thanks to Seneca Global, because they believed in me. So yeah, big thank you, and welcoming your questions.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you so much for such a clearly, I mean, you have covered each and every point so clearly, and it was so clear presentation. Yeah, you can just stop screen sharing and you can concentrate on one device now.
Great. Yeah.
So yeah, audience and everyone over here, Priyanka is here to take questions. So any kind of questions that you have, you can just post it your questions. Priyanka is here to answer. And Dr. Janaki also has joined us.
Just one question. I'm
Yes,
in the
Dr.
middle of recording now.
Oh,
So I
okay.
just wanted to peep in and see. Last slide is really very nice. You spoke about one important thing, being responsible of what we are doing, whether people are watching us or not. We need to be responsible for our own thing. So that's really fantastic. I will see the entire episode later. Excuse me for now. Here you can't hear what I'm saying also.
We are able to hear you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor, for joining. So yeah, as said by Dr. Janaki ma'am, being responsible to your job and, being responsible to what you are doing is really, really very important. And that's how, we'll be able to fight against the quacks and, the social media influencers who are so popular than a nutritionist.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's how, if we can project ourselves more, and if we can educate the audience more about the nutrition, that would be a great thing. Yeah, any questions? So
if you have any questions, please ask them, or tell if you could be exposed to some new perspective or a new perception, or if you're happy that you are into nutrition and you're not regretting it anymore. So yeah.
Very true. So yeah, I was just asking, like, now coming to the Senka Global IT Industries, as you have explained everything. Ma'am, Machitra ma'am, you can just unmute and you can ask, please. We are happy to see you.
Hello, Priyanka, and
Thank
I'm
you so
happy
much for
to be
joining,
here
ma'am.
too. And Priyanka happens to be my student, so I'm really very proud of seeing her here. And there's just one question I would like to ask, which is, are many other companies also hiring nutritionists? Is there awareness about that?
I don't think a lot of companies are doing that right now, because I haven't heard of such opportunities a lot. And also, when we talk about companies and their health policies, they only focus on the cure of a disease in the form of giving an insurance policy. But nobody is really looking at prevention, or nobody is really looking to have a nutrition expert that will help them on, on their daily nutrition. So I don't think there are a lot of opportunities, but I think there will be more in the future, because the work from home setup of the IT companies, especially, a lot of companies have decided to have just the rotational basis of employees coming to the office. So there is a very high chance that our role magnifies, and that people realize that, the hero that they're talking about when it comes to vitamin C or immunity, we are the right people to guide them on how they can do it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, like as ma'am said, maybe not the coming to the IT companies, as you said, maybe not, they are not hiring as a nutritionist, in-house nutritionist like what you are doing. I have been working with few of the IT companies like D-Shaw, so where they do give the priority to the employees, their employees' health and everything. So it was more of a time frame kind of thing, they just get associated with the nutritionist for a certain period of time and get, and there was no in-house nutritionist in certain companies, but they do take the help of nutritionist and on and off kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, something what your role is, is a new, totally a new, having an in-house nutritionist is, totally new. I mean, it's more, the credit goes to Senka Global, actually, having
It
a
goes to their
nutritionist.
unique thinking, and yeah,
Yes.
of course, I'm definitely the lucky one to be with them. So this also, depends on, like, you have something called as nutrigenomics.
Yes.
You have to look at their DNA report and give them a diet on that. So there
Yes.
are so many new things that are coming up. If you tell people that your students should not be eating things from the canteen, and you should have something healthy, and even if the students are not getting their lunch, your canteen should be in a position to provide them nutritious meals. So you could be creating an opportunity there. This is why it's important that you tell how many things a nutritionist can do. Only then people will start realizing, only then they will be like, okay, so you can also do this, so maybe, yeah, we need to create a role. Because they did a testing with NI, and Seneca Global did have a few nutrition specific talks where people voluntarily heard the advice and started incorporating them, and they saw a difference. That is where they recognized and thought that, what if we have
In-house
a person
nutrition.
who's always going to be there, and who
Yes.
can talk in terms of more specific or personalized things than just a general advice. So you are also somewhere responsible for promoting nutrition, because we often complain that we don't get a lot of jobs, or we don't have good salaries, we are not getting what we deserve. I don't want to work in a hospital, but I have to, because probably there's no other option. You know what you can do, so you tell people what you can do.
Rightly said. And also the person, I mean, you were mentioning about the nutrition games, it was Simi Khanna,
Yes,
and she was also one of the awardees.
yes.
Yeah. So we have Shalu Bajaj asking a question on Facebook. Very nice and informative. Yes, it's a great prospects in nutrition field. How would we approach to corporates, ma'am?
Yeah. So thank you for your question, Shalu.
Yeah, Shalu Bajaj.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I told you, you have to, there's a saying, when in Rome, behave like the Romans do or speak like the Romans do. Yeah. So wherever you are, you have to identify how the people are. We study about diet counseling and psychology in probably the last semester of masters. And you all know that it's not just limited to the books. You are not going to learn how to counsel a client through just reading. You have to see his body language. You have to see his thought process. Is he too much inclined towards some YouTube video, and he has declared that that is the best nutrition advice he can get, but he has still come to you? So you need to understand what is their thinking. What is your company looking at? Is your company number oriented? Is your company just wanting to see good results, see a better lifestyle, even if it takes time? And then that a corporate setup will have a lot of sedentary work. Now this is a key point for you. So when you're talking about physical activity, you tell them that they need to take break, they need to get up, they need to also focus on their snacks and not just have their major meals. You tell them that why fruits are important and how they can prioritize. Why not have a fruit break than just a coffee break? The approach could be specific to the company and specific to the person you're talking to. And of course, the major things would be their stress and their sedentary lifestyle. So you focus on that. You also need to focus on mental health, because if they are not mentally happy or healthy, they will not be able to follow your advice. They will not be able to have their hormones under proper regulation. So it's important you're looking at all aspects, because we already study and it's time for applying them.
Right. I guess she was mentioning, like, how do we approach the corporate companies?
Okay. You just have to search if there is a opening for a nutritionist. If they're looking for they may not really mention that they want a nutritionist as such. They may just say that we are looking at give us diet plans, give us food tips. You should see what are the openings, how are they naming it, do you fit into that field with a different name? You should look at it, because I had done my internship through my master's, but then I again went through apprenticeship, which was training and learning the corporate setup. So apprenticeship was not a word that I would look at normally, but I did it because the requirements that they had were matching with what I can do for them.
Right.
So don't be specific to just corporate, but yes, you have to have a good search on the various opportunities that are available in the field. Have a good research done.
Great. So yeah, any more questions from audience? Priyanka is here. You can just
Hi, Priyanka ma'am and Mayuri ma'am.
Hi,
It's
Samatha.
not a question, but I'm totally in love with the presentation what Priyanka ma'am has portrayed, and the scope a nutritionist can have. It's like she showed it in a very broader way.
Yes.
It's too good, ma'am.
Thank you so
You
much
have
for
taken
that.
the level of nutrition to the next level, I can say. It's not just limiting ourselves to the four walls of the hospital setup, but it's too good the way you have the confidence you have and the responsibility you have taken to showcase this the whatever privilege you had to work in a corporate hospital. It's really great, ma'am. It's very good, a very unique kind of presentation, I can say. Very
Thank you so much
inspiring.
for joining, and thank you so much for that appreciation. Very, very valuable.
Very inspiring.
Yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Samatha. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so I guess we are good to go. So any more questions, on the Facebook, you can just, yeah, Samatha.
Mayuri ma'am, I just want to, as Priyanka ma'am was saying, she shot some videos, right?
Yes.
Is it available, ma'am? The videos you shoot, is it only for your the company?
There were not videos, there were just audios, there were podcast episodes. So yeah, I had made flyers for each topic. Like I think I can reveal the names of the topics that I used. That was, the very popular topic, which is should you stop eating rice to get better health or to lose weight? So rice or roti, and a few things like keto diet, intermittent fasting, only liquid diet, or a balanced diet. So a few things like that. But I don't think I'll be able to circulate the audios without talking to my company people. Also, my boss is here in the meeting, so I don't know if I can actually share the podcast with you. But yeah,
Never
this is
mind.
an idea that you can use for wherever you're working.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Priyanka. So on this note, I would like to convey my vote of thanks to Priyanka Sharma. So thank you, Priyanka, for being here on Tea Talks and giving us such a, showing the opportunities for the BScs and MScs, where, if you have the passion, you can just have a, there is no limit for your profession. Anything, you can just do whatever. There are no limits for you. So thank you so much. And looking forward to see you once again on Tea Talks. Thank you, Priyanka.
It was a pleasure and honor, ma'am. Thank you so much, and thanks to each one of you who was here.
Yeah. See you all next Tuesday, same time, same place. Bye for today.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.